Hi, Charles Hall with CPA Hall Talk, and today we're taking a look at Chapter 2 in my book, Audit Risk Assessment Made Easy. And this chapter has to do with client acceptance. So if you get a phone call from a potential new client and they're talking a good fee, then you're happy, and I'm happy for you. But as you work through this process of client acceptance, I want you to think about risk assessment even at this stage. So when this new client calls, or maybe you get a request for a proposal, an RFP in the mail, and you get on the phone and you start talking to the potential new client, there's certain things that you need to know. One of those things that we need to think about is independence early on, but we're also asking about the potential fee. We're also asking other questions. So let's consider how risk assessment starts even at this stage of the potential engagement. I want you to go ahead and start thinking about risk assessment when you make this first phone call, or when the potential client calls you. Start thinking about risk assessment even at this stage. If you don't get the job, you don't get it. But if you do get it, then if you're like me, you're taking notes as you have this initial phone call. And now the reason I'm doing this, there's a couple of reasons. One, I want to document that initial acceptance, but I'm creating information that I can use later on in the engagement if the client hires me. So we all ask a lot of questions in this first phone call or this first face-to-face meeting. There's no need to get all this information and then throw it in the trash can, and then later on, when we get the job, ask the same questions. So some of this is an efficiency decision to go ahead and start documenting the answers to the questions. And then as you do, you're going to have that information readily available to you later on after you get the job. So what are the questions that we're going to ask in this first meeting? Well, we said one of the things is the fee, and absolutely we need to be talking about that. We need to be talking or asking about the experience of the accounting personnel, the accounting staff. If they've got a CFO, how long has that CFO been in that position? Has it been 10 days or 10 years? How much education does that person have? What about the other accounting personnel? How much experience do they have? I'm also asking about prior audits. So have there been a lot of journal entries in the past, or audit entries in the past, or none at all? That's going to tell me about the quality of their accounting. I want to know about the structure of the business. Is it owned by one person or by 50 people? I want to know the form of the entity. Is it an LLC? Is it a C Corp? Is it an S Corp? What is it? I want to know how long they've been in business. Are they just starting, or have they been around a long time? I want to know about their prior profits. So have they been profitable in the last 5 years? Or are they just barely making it? I want to know about debt. So if the entity has a lot of debt, then that may scare us off. And sometimes the debt load can be so high, it's may be wise to not accept the potential new client. So you want to look at these types of factors, and as you do and you're asking these questions, we're taking notes so that once we receive the engagement, once we're approved, then I can take this information and start feeding that into my audit forms. So you've got a form about gaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, where you're asking questions that fit into that form. So once you get done with this initial acceptance process, and if you get approved or if you decide you want to proceed, then you've got this information to feed that into the forms. So the main point in this video and in chapter 2 of the book is start thinking about the risk of material misstatement in this first meeting or this first phone call, because if you do, then you're going to be a step ahead later on once you receive this new audit engagement. In the next chapter, chapter 3, we're going to take a look at material misstatements. So continue to stay with us, continue to follow the videos, and if you haven't already, please go out and pick up a copy of Audit Risk Assessment Made Easy. You'll find it on Amazon, and you can follow along in the book as we go through these videos. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, and bye now.